Very good morning. The good news is when the room is semi-filled, you get a lot of attention. So I'm here. It's my first talk in Saudi Arabia. So first of all, good morning, Riyadh. We're going to start with a small video to kind of wake you up a little bit, because I was told that this is the best thing to do when we are starting a talk in Saudi, right? And it's not a boring video, I promise. It's a fun video. I'm going to first just start a little bit about myself. My name is Ankur Agrawal. I live in Silicon Valley in California. I used to live in Dubai, in the region. I used to be a partner at McKinsey in my life before. I think what is amazing is, AI is changing a lot of the things in this world, and furniture is one of those categories where AI is finally making its way, and that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how AI can help you transform the experience of buying FF&E as a hotel owner or a brand, and that's what my talk is centered around. And it's not just about how do you design it better, it's actually how you save money and do it faster. So it's very tangible impact that you come out of it. With that, let me...
From the dawn of craftsmanship to today's modern aesthetics, furniture design has continually evolved. Now, it's leaping forward. Welcome to Inhabitr.ai, the first end-to-end furnishing platform where AI meets design, seamlessly integrated with factories. This means not just imagining, but creating and delivering unique, sustainable furniture for the spaces of tomorrow. Our AI doesn't just design, it connects directly with our real-time inventory, ensuring what you select is exactly what we deliver. Transforming hotels, restaurants, and homes, our AI engine designs with precision and imagination. Each piece is more than furniture, it's a step towards the future of commercial spaces. Tailored, efficient, and breathtakingly beautiful. Redefining the first AI-powered real estate furnishing solution. From design to delivery, we redefine what's possible. Introducing Inhabitr.ai.
So let's start with what is AI. So I'll simplify it. AI is nothing but it's like a really smart robot. It's, I have a 4-year-old. In my world, we think of AI as a little baby that we have built that is just like a little baby. It plays with toys, it looks at things, it learns from real life things, and that's how AI learns, using data, just like a human learns. And it can do a lot of things. It can drive cars. For those of you who've been in San Francisco that have driven a Waymo, my son was extremely ecstatic the first time he sat in a Waymo. He wanted to go sit in the driver's car, and I had to pull him back. AI also can do a lot of other fun things, like answering questions. I want a quick raise of hand. How many of you have used ChatGPT here? Brilliant. So look, you can get a lot of answers from AI. And there's one more use case that we're bringing to the table with AI, is it can buy things. And believe me, it can buy things better and cheaper. So before we talk about buying things and AI, let's talk about why is this important? Why is this important in Saudi Arabia right now? So procurement is a very massive impact that hotels and hospitality industry will see by optimizing procurement, for the simple reason there is 500,000 new hotel rooms that have been announced between Saudi, lion's share of that is Saudi, but also UAE, right? And if you think about it, as a part of the Vision 2030, which is a big effort in the region, almost 800,000 hotel rooms will have a FF&E, either refresh or new, in the next 7 years, which means about $10 billion in FF&E spend and $100 billion in spend on all the other categories. So it is a big development, big idea, because if you can create a 10 to 20% optimization on that number, that's massive impact.
So the FFE would typically be specified by interior designers engaged on behalf of developers, owner-occupiers. The interior designers are not necessarily working to a finite budget.
I'm sorry, can we go back and just play the video one more time? So So how is it done today? I think, so yes, it's a big deal. Yes, AI can help. But let's even talk about how is it done
the
in the
FFE would
region
typically
today.
be specified.
How is it done in the region today? And let's hear from Ian Williamson, who we interviewed. Ian Williamson is the former head of development for Red Sea Global. There were some other colleagues from Red Sea here that you guys had heard, some other members. So you'll see how this is done in the region, and then I'd love to hear from you guys how much of this resonates with how you guys do FF&E today. Yeah, can we start the video?
By interior designers engaged on behalf of developers, owner-occupiers. The interior designers are not necessarily working to a finite budget. They're trying to come up with creative, imaginative, customized schemes, certainly in the luxury hotel arena, that are making a point of difference for that hotel operator on what they're bringing to the market. It goes through an entire design process. It might go through several months of a procurement process, and somewhere late in the process, you'll probably find your FFE is not affordable for the budget that was originally assigned. So there's a lack of clarity in cost outcome at all stages until you've gone out to potentially hundreds or thousands of individual suppliers, maybe using agents on behalf of the client to procure. Because the issue you have when you come back significantly higher than budget is everyone will glibly say we can value engineer it back to the budget, but if you're back 50% above your budget figures, value engineering is never going to reduce by 50%. Value engineering could typically squeeze by 10%, and above that you're going to start eating into quality, you're going to start eating into durability, you're going to start eating into sustainability and value generally of the product.
So, sorry, I'm not sure how many of that was very easily audible, but what Ian was basically saying is, what they've seen is, when you start with a design, which is done primarily based on aesthetics, you go price it. If it comes higher than budget, then you go back and value engineer. And that loop is cumbersome and inefficient in how it's done, right? So how many of you have had a budget or a project overrun in your hotel project? And given that we're a little tight of time, I'm just going to ask you to raise of hand instead of doing a poll. Is that okay? Yeah? So raise of hands. Oh, poll is there. Oh, sorry. Does everybody know how to do it? Oh, scan the QR code. Yeah, I think maybe just do a raise of hand. It'll be easier, right? So just raise your hand of those of you who've had when you were doing your furniture for your hotel, you've had a project where the budget went over or the time was an issue. I saw some raise of hand there, right? I saw raise of hands here. I see raise of hands here. Thank you for being nice to me, those who just raised their hand because I'm here. So let's talk about how does AI really do it, right? I'm going to give you a case study which is actually used by companies like Google and Sun in Silicon Valley. They were the ones who actually pioneered using AI in procurement. And this is an example of a data center spend. So let's say you are a data center company. You've got customers that are like Netflix and Tesla and others that actually require data center. What you have is based on your pattern of usage, based on the data usage, first of all, AI predicts the component mix of what you need. And that's how the data center is designed. And then each data center, by the way, has flash or memories, has ICs, has processors, has metal and other things. And what AI does in this part is they actually use that to aggregate demand and bid it out at the memory level, at the component level, right? Which is another. And then you actually do a reverse auction using AI, right? To actually get the most optimal pricing, right? We have taken this concept of using AI to procure into the FF&E world. And let's talk about how in the FF&E world this translates, right? So let's take our very simple example. Let's say you were building a Hyatt, right? And you had a sofa that your designer had selected that you wanted to go and procure, right? So let's say the procurement design of the sofa is the way it's on the screen, right? The brand standard is for Hyatt, right? Let's say the budget was $1,200 a sofa. It needed to be delivered in 90 days, and there was about 60 rooms that needed to be furnished. So in the traditional world, this would be given to a purchasing agent. A purchasing agent would go and get 3 or 4 bids. They would basically bring it back to you. You would probably get a budget that may or may not fit the 1,200, or the fabric rub may not be good. They'll go back. There'll be some value engineering. There'll be, call it 3 months, 4 months from that process. How does AI do it? So let's say in AI, you have a global database where there's 100,000 blue sofas. Yeah? And it basically, if you think about how a designer does it today, a designer actually also gets inspired by inspirations on retail catalogs and several other catalogs. Yeah? So what they do is they basically take it from there, they put it in the design. In this world, there's 100,000 sofas already in the database. What AI does is goes and selects based on the 90-day requirement who can actually deliver, selects a set of suppliers that can actually meet, or factories that can actually meet, and let's say down to 5,000 sofas now that are from those factories that works. Then what happens is it does a further filtering of, hey, what are these factories that have already been doing brand standards for 4-star hotels like Hyatt? And then let's say you're down to 1,000 sofas. And then you do an image search of that sofa, think Google Lens, right? And then it basically does an image search and basically finds the 100 blue sofas that are near or like that sofa. And then it does the unbundled pricing bid or the live bidding that we just talked about to get you the 10 blue sofas that are between 900 and 1,700. So let's see when we ran this search using AI, what did we actually get? This is the original inspiration, right? The AI first took the dimensions, right? Took the specification, deciphered it using the algorithm, and then found 3 matches, right? Which was the top 3 matches. The first one is a 97% match. The sofa looks almost the same. It's a $1,100 price. The second one is a 90% match. It's a $750 price. And you know what is interesting? When we've done this in the US with a lot of the owners, many times you actually don't want that sofa. You actually end up liking this sofa more, right? You actually say, you know what? The $750 sofa looks actually better than the $1,100 sofa, right? And the third option is slightly different, 93% match, $980. So now you're no longer going and beating a supplier on the head. You're no longer waiting months. You're actually, whatever's existed design catalog of those factories that you've digitized, you're actually doing a smart search using data out of that. And it's a very different way of procuring. Yeah? There's other things that procurement AI also optimizes, right? I think a few examples. First of all, we talked about unbundling material and conversion. So think about this. If you take a Courtyard Marriott, a Hyatt Place, a Holiday Inn Express, you'll see the substrate is always board and laminate, right? If you can unbundle that, buy board separate, laminate separate, conversion separate, there's a very different way of procuring that. AI is able to do that optimization. There's finding factories in your database that are actually not running second or third shift. And you're actually optimizing to those areas where they're actually looking to invest more, right? Mixing discounted with obsolete inventory. So, you know, I don't know if you know, but not everything needs to be made from scratch, right? There's, in the US alone, there's about $23 billion of inventory that on average sits, right? The AI can actually go and find things, what's already available, close out and mix it, right? Optimizing factories from locations that have low or no tariff. That's another one, right? Benchmarking pack efficiency. Think about this, right? When we've run this, we've seen the same Holiday Inn Express for 120 keys in factory 1 versus factory 2. One factory says it's going to be 9 containers. Another factory says it's going to be 12 containers, right? Having AI to actually look at what is the pack efficiency, CBM per sofa, right, across factories. And last but not the least is, you know, OS, any other things, can you actually get local inventory to be mixed with it? So these are multiple variations that AI can do that you can do as a human. Yeah?
From the dawn of craftsmanship to today's modern aesthetics, furniture design has continually evolved. Now, it's leaping forward. Welcome to Inhabitr.ai, the first end-to-end furnishing platform where AI meets design, seamlessly integrated with factories. This means not just imagining, but creating and delivering unique, sustainable furniture for the spaces of tomorrow. Our AI doesn't just design. It connects directly with our real-time inventory, ensuring what you select is exactly what we deliver. Transforming hotels, restaurants, and homes, our AI engine designs with precision and imagination. Each piece is more than furniture, it's a step towards the future of commercial spaces. Tailored, efficient, and breathtakingly beautiful. Redefining the first AI-powered real estate furnishing solution. From design to delivery, we redefine what's possible.
I've had the pleasure of knowing Inhabitr over the past few years, and every interaction, every turn that I've gotten to know them, They have continued to blow me away with what they're capable of doing. The big difference maker is their technology platform. It's absolutely amazing in creating the final product from design to delivery. But then they also have their vertical integration with their factories, with their design teams, and with last mile delivery, and as well as supply chain and logistics.
Development is a very rigorous process. It involves managing multiple disciplines: general construction, design, procurement, logistics, warehousing, and installation. These are all separate disciplines, and they all require to be managed separately. But with Inhabitr, I can bring 5 of these processes under one roof. And that's a game changer for a development company like Presidio. Not only allows us to save money and still get very high quality, it allows us to focus on the overall direction of the hotel.
No, we don't have time. Do we have time for questions? So we have, it's a complicated technology, right? It's a complex technology. We have people here. If anybody wants to have a live demo, you wanted to follow up, we would love to show you how the technology works. But if there's any question that I should take.
Now is the time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Ankur. First of all, round of applause for Ankur before I hop back on. If there's no questions, then I have one for you.
Yeah.
So, but I will let the audience is much more important than I will ever be, so I will leave. Any questions? No? Perfect. I'm afraid you're going to have to take mine then. If you had to guess, Ankur, and give a prediction for me on how AI is going to develop, let's say in 2 years' time and in 5 years' time, specifically to the hospitality example, give me your thoughts. If we meet again in 2 years in Silicon Valley and in 5 years back here, where is AI in 2 and 5 years?
So look, talking specifically, let's say FF&E first, which I'm much more closer to, I think you would have digitized a lot of the design and purchasing work, I think, definitely in 5 years.
Yeah.
I think in 5 years, there'll be a lot more design that'll be aided, if not completely done by AI. So I think that's absolutely happening and it's going to continue. I think in the near future, what you'll also start seeing is some of the more simpler stuff, like I think select service, right? I think is going to start using AI. Maybe the more luxury stuff will continue to require more hand-holding. I think that's a little bit what we think is happening. Broader, what I think is happening is things like customer service. Think about prediction on revenue. So there's several topics. A lot of experts are already here talking about it. I think a lot of that is moving towards at least being supported by data and AI.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Final question. 5 years from now, Inhabitr, what are we seeing from you guys in 5 years?
So 5 years from now, what I would love to see is every 10th hotel that you stay in should have furniture that is aided or designed and had some level of AI involved in there.
Perfect. I'll take your word for it. Agrawal, thanks so much. Very nice to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Big round of applause.